The story of Saint Gertrude the Great.
Subscribe to our channel to receive more content like this.
Gertrude the Great was born in 1256 in the quiet region of Thuringia, Germany. From the start, her life seemed ordinary. There were no miracles, no heavenly signs, just a bright young girl with a curious mind. But as she would later prove, even an ordinary beginning could lead to an extraordinary friendship with God. At the age of 5, Gertrude was placed in the care of the Benedictine nuns at the monastery of Helfta, a place known for learning, prayer, and a deep love of God. It was there that her journey began, one of study, discipline, and eventually divine love. As a child, Gertrude was brilliant. She excelled in Latin, philosophy, and theology. Her teachers marveled at how quickly she understood complex ideas. But as she grew older, her focus drifted away from prayer and toward worldly learning. She loved her studies so much that she began to chase knowledge more than faith. Her reputation as a scholar grew, yet deep inside, her soul began to feel empty. She later wrote that during these early years, she had allowed her heart to be clouded by the dust of curiosity and pride. Everything changed when Gertrude turned 25. One cold night in January, she was walking through the cloister, her mind restless and weary. Suddenly, she was surrounded by a radiant light. A young man appeared before her, his presence filled with peace and love. He said gently, "I will save you and deliver you. You have been like a runaway child, but I have not stopped loving you." Gertrude knew at once it was Jesus. The vision pierced her heart. She fell to her knees and wept, realizing that all her learning meant nothing without the love of God. From that moment, her life took a new direction. She gave up her focus on worldly studies and devoted herself completely to prayer, humility, and service. She began to experience a series of visions, intimate encounters with Christ that filled her with both joy and awe. These weren't distant or fearful visions. They were filled with tenderness, like conversations between close friends. Jesus often spoke to her heart, calling her "my beloved," and revealing to her the depth of his mercy and compassion. Gertrude's writings tell of these beautiful moments. In one vision, she saw Christ's heart shining like the sun, with rays of love streaming out toward humanity. She was invited to rest her head on his heart, hearing his divine heartbeat. In another, she saw souls being comforted and strengthened through prayer. These experiences revealed to her how much God longed for closeness with every person, no matter how lost or distracted they might be. Her fellow nuns were amazed by her transformation. The once book-absorbed scholar had become a radiant example of humility and love. She cared deeply for those around her, listening to their struggles and praying for them with compassion. Gertrude's spirituality was filled with warmth and joy. She spoke of God not as a distant judge, but as a tender friend who delights in every soul. She believed that prayer should come from love, not fear. She also had a special devotion to the souls in purgatory, often praying that they might quickly enter heaven. Her prayers were said to bring comfort and release to many suffering souls, and this devotion later became one of her most enduring legacies. Even in times of illness and weakness, Gertrude's heart remained full of peace. Her health began to fail in her 40s, but she accepted every pain as a chance to be closer to Christ. She would often say that suffering, when offered with love, becomes a bridge between heaven and earth. Her companions described her as gentle, joyful, and completely at peace, even when her body was frail. As her final days drew near, Gertrude was filled with calm joy. She often spoke of heaven as if she could already see its light. One evening, surrounded by her sisters, she whispered prayers of gratitude for all that God had given her. Her final words were said to be words of love for Christ, for her community, and for all souls. She passed away around the year 1302, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire countless people. Saint Gertrude. The great story reminds us that holiness is not about perfection or brilliance. It is about love. She began as a gifted but distracted scholar, chasing knowledge without meaning. But through grace, she discovered that the greatest truth is not written in books, but in the heart of God. Her life teaches that no matter how far we drift, God is always ready to welcome us back with tenderness and joy. Today, Saint Gertrude is remembered as a mystic, a theologian, and a friend of Jesus. Her prayers and writings invite everyone, learned or simple, confident or searching, to draw near to God's heart and find peace there. In her own words, the smallest act done in pure love is worth more than all the knowledge in the world. Her story stands as a beacon for all who long to know not just about God, but to truly know Him and to love Him with all their heart.